First of all, I'm going to give a shout out tonight for the sports world has lost a great legend in Bill Walton. And I was watching the completion of the Boston Indiana Pacers game, and they immediately went into a dedication for Bill Walton. Now, I've long not liked Bill Walton because Bill Walton was one of those athletes. You know, he's a white athlete that I always felt like he wanted to go with the narrative of, his own personal cultural conditioning as far as race is concerned. And then just in that short moment, they kind of did a little cover on Bill Walton. I come to find out that Bill Walton actually stood up for social justice along with black athletes in 1968. Now, it might not have been to a great magnitude, but unlike many athletes who may be of a good financial status, living a life of luxury, some people don't want to sacrifice or be known to be seen to stand up for truth, justice, and equality for all people. Even though I had my personal opinions and feelings towards Bill Walton, he still wanted to be recognized as an NBA legend and an NBA great. But I got to thinking about something else. I got to thinking about legacy, because even though this man has made his transition, he still leaves behind a great legacy in the NBA, being a great athlete. He was a great father, and his peers speak highly of him. I really got to thinking about, we're all going to eventually leave this world. As of lately, as the last couple of days, I've been talking to peers and just having different type of conversations. And the one thing that comes up is that people think about what's on the other side of mortality. You know, when we're younger, we don't think about this. We have no health issues. Our bodies are strong. We're enjoying life. We're ambitious. We're looking forward to the years ahead of us. But just like that, in the blink of an eye, the minute you make that first child, the minute you marry your significant other, the minute you take on career, responsibilities, bills, things begin to go hyperspeed. Kids that you were bouncing on your lap 10 years ago are now staring you in the face, walking across stages, graduating, starting their own families. And as life continues to progress and you do start to experience certain different things with the body, health issues, some of your views may change. You might have evolved as an individual. You might have gone through a lot of things in life, but it gets to a point to where when you're by yourself in your own space, you start thinking about what's on the other side. You start thinking about, have you accomplished everything that you wanted to accomplish in your life? And it's nothing really to fear. We don't know what exactly lies on the other side, whether you believe in heaven and hell, or you believe in a paradise, or some people believe that when you die, that's just it. Nobody really knows. According to the lessons, there ain't been no man to come back to tell the living whether or not they lied or not. So we don't know. But I'm here to tell you that as long as you are here in the material realm, you have to make the best of your life and make sure that you make good history every single day of your life. My grandfather's favorite song, and one that always reminds me of him, and it goes, is, may the works that I've done speak for me. So when we make our transition from this world, what were the works that you have done? What will they say about you? I want you to understand something. To learn to overcome the small stuff. When you are destined for greatness, the one thing you must embrace is rejection. Bob Marley once said in one of his songs, the stone that the builder refused will soon be the head cornerstone. Now, I heard that years ago, and I actually heard it on the Boondocks, which is one of my favorite animations ever. Shout out to Aaron McGruder. But let's think about that for a second. The stone that the builder refused will always be the head cornerstone. I could break it down to one of my own personal experiences in my life. Everybody knows that I've played on the softball circuit, and I've made a name of myself, and I've accomplished great things. But I can recall back in St. Louis, Missouri, when I was coming up through the ranks, I was never seen as one of the players to put on the bigger and better teams. I mean, I did play with the Volley Stars. I did play with Impact. But before I actually got to that level, I was never seen as one of the top athletes or somebody, or as a prospect to be a part of a team to help the team win, which is ultimately the world at Worlds, the World Championship, win yourself a ring. I used to want to pitch, never could get the opportunity to pitch. And I was always overlooked, wasn't talked about much. But it wasn't until I got to Georgia and my game began to elevate, and I learned so much about the game. And there were people down south that saw value in me that people in my hometown didn't even see. Now, this is no knock on anybody from hometown, and I have no ill will and bitter intentions, right? But I've gotten to a level to where now they speak a different language. They have a different conversation about me. I remember the first year they had 40 and over Worlds, the division in Chattanooga. I was playing with Fire in the Hole, which is basically Lakeside. We lost our first game, and we made it all the way back to the championship game. And lo and behold, I had to battle against my peers from St. Louis who raised me in the game. I had to battle against those who viewed my game at that time as nothing, nobody. Even though down south they had heard stories of me getting bigger and better and playing on a major platform such as the conference. And we ended up double dipping them. And it was one of those things. And Big Cat Sean Fleming, if he ever sees this, he knows the minute we won, the minute we made that last out, and I had to pitch all the way this whole weekend. I had to man the mound the whole weekend. And we won this by because we had Daryl Lattimore had to catch a flight to go back to Detroit. And we won the if game with our sponsor playing second base, and they never figured it out. But at the end of the day, I became emotional and I felt bad. I felt like, you know, as you get up in age, and just like with professional sports, the older you get, the further away rings get, the further away championships get. Now, most of those guys eventually ended up winning World Series and winning rings for themselves. But I just felt bad. But it was against a group of guys that in my former years, I was an afterthought. I was never thought of. Except for one person that I always told him, hey, Red was that guy then. We didn't see the greatness in him then. But that day was a day that everyone knew that I had arrived. I've been arrived, but I was that guy, right? And I'm saying it without ego or conceit. Trust me when I tell you that. But the builder, the stone that the builder refused will always be the head cornerstone. Even when my son was in Douglas County and he was playing ball out in those schools, the football coach didn't see the value in him. The STEM program, he was rejected, and I eventually transferred him to another program in the same area. He went through the same thing. He got double standard treatment. I don't know if because he wasn't a kid from Georgia, but I never got mad at the coaches. I seen my son's constant rejection, and I knew my son was one of the better athletes in the whole county. I seen how he was treated. Never said anything to the coach. I said, son, me and you got to get together in the gym where we're going to work out. We're going to work on the mid-range. We're going to work on your handles. Football was already his go-to. That was something that was natural to him. But he was a stone that was refused, that eventually all of Douglas County had to pay homage and witness this kid on ESPN on a major platform. On Saturdays and Friday nights, they constantly seen him on ESPN on the major stage when he used to be the rejected stone. And eventually his coaches gave me props. So where am I going with this? Rejection. You should embrace rejection, because even the word says that when Jesus walked the earth, they knew him not. They rejected him. So if they rejected the Messiah, the Son of God, what makes you think that you won't be rejected? But now understand, let Christ be in you. Let he who is greater than you than he who is in the world. There should be a shine about you. See, a lot of times when people reject you, it's by destiny. It's by reason. The average person is a stock-minded individual. Let's just keep it a buck. Most people do not lack a deep level of intelligence. They will not understand your language. They will not understand the way that you think. Some people don't even take the time to pick up and read a book. And those who think they know the most, talk the most, don't even read, don't think, don't do anything. They got a full tank of mouth and an empty tank of brain. But that's not really neither the conversation to have right now. But everybody that I know who constantly dealt with rejection, who believed in themselves enough, they constantly kept pushing. They constantly kept grinding until at one point, one day, the right person saw the value in them and understood. And it takes visionaries to see the greatness in the individual who has constantly been rejected. You're not supposed to run with the pack. You're not supposed to be with the in crowd. When you are an acquired individual, you are nasty to taste. They must acquire a taste in an individual like you, and that takes time. But if they value you, they take the time to do these things. But this is not how this works. This is definitely not how it works. You know, how many times was Jay-Z told no about record labels? How many times before Steve Jobs actually became the brilliant brainchild behind Apple was his ideas laughed at? That could never be possible in the future. How many times were the Wright brothers told that they could never put an aircraft in the sky? You understand? How many times was George Carver told that he was crazy because he can hear plants? He spoke to plants, spoke to aggregation, peanuts, figured out how to do things with peanuts, oil energy, and things of that nature. Look at all the great minds. Even Albert Einstein, which is one of the top scholars that is studied to this very day. In his time, he was seen as crazy with dementia, but he is one of the top brains and brilliance that we study to this day. I tell people all the time, the people in your life right now are irrelevant. Make good history every day, because the only people that's going to understand you, that's going to understand your message, that understood your purpose for existence, were people who are going to exist 100 years after you are long gone. It's the beauty of things. When people know you, they really don't know you, but people that don't know you will embrace and encourage your works. This is why it's always healthy to create a healthy separation. And I can give you another example of my good close friend, the CEO and owner of men's Showtime Basketball. One of the best people that anybody could ever meet. And he's for the people, runs his league with integrity, loves people, embraces people, encourages people, look out for people. He don't get all the top-notch media pub. He ain't got Adidas or Nike funding or backing his league and putting the imprint on the court. And I constantly have conversations with him where he's frustrated, where people take advantage of him. They expect things out of him or ask him to do things that they don't ask other league heads to do. He does things for them and doesn't get the reciprocation back. But he is the stone that the builders refuse, and he's going to end up being the head cornerstone. Based on the simple fact that word of mouth is much more powerful than social media, because when you're a good person, you will eventually get to where you are going to be. If you are a destined individual, this is one way to know that you are a destined individual, is you are rejected. Look at all the families with the black sheep. Everybody said that was the black sheep of the family. He was the weird one. He was the crazy one. He was the most successful one because he was the stone that the builder refused and became the head cornerstone. Whatever you see, whatever vision you have, if people don't understand it, if people don't support you, it's okay. That vision was given to you for a reason, and you stay on your purpose. And what's more importantly is the people that you have within close proximity in your life, the friends you choose, the people you choose to date, the people you choose to align yourself in business. Do they think like babies? Do they have small talk? Listen, one thing about me, my phone hardly rings, and I'm okay with that because I don't entertain small talk. If you look at a lot of people that are around you, just ask them, what do you eat? What diet are you consuming? And I ain't talking about table food. I'm talking about mental food. See, people think that music and movies are just entertainment, and then it's not entertainment, because I would never watch anything or support something that I don't agree with, because psychological supplanting is way more or just as powerful as the things that you put in your body. What type of conversations are you having with? If you are a person that everybody agrees with, loves, and just rock with, there's no way you could be on your purpose and path. Because when you begin to take life serious, it is a lonely walk. Because for the most part, people don't want to do the work to grow. People got more ego than they do common sense. People sell themselves to be a great individual. Like they're all that, like they bring a special brand of love, or they got this special brand of intelligence, or they got this special brand of being or teaching certain things, and absolutely don't know shit. You better watch and be mindful of the people you are within proximity who really know something, because the man that knows that he knows something knows that he knows nothing at all, which is why I take on the same position that Nearly Fuller does when people say, hey man, how you doing? What's up with you? I'm still learning. And I'm going to always continue to learn. But being rejected, I used to always didn't understand. I could be that one guy that people just wouldn't understand. And it used to frustrate me. You know, when it comes to all type of different facets in 9 areas of my life, I deal with a lot of rejection. Now, that might come as a shock and surprise to a lot of people, but it's not, because you all, everybody listening to this episode, somewhere at some point in your life, you're dealing with constant rejection, but it's by design. It's for a reason. And you should embrace it. See, people walking around here talking about self-love and all this other stuff, but they're doing things to their body to be validated by other people. If you truly love yourself and what you believe in, nothing no one says or do can deter you from your goals and what you want to achieve and what you want to accomplish. Look at the idea for Crocs. I bet you the first time somebody mentioned something about a Crocs, it's the ugliest design shoe I've ever seen in my life. One of them. And they got holes in them like spores on like pores on skin. But Crocs went stupid crazy in sales, didn't they? So you must understand, whatever may seem crazy or stupid or illegitimate to people, if it's in your mind, if it was placed there by the Most High, then you must move on it. But understand, rejection is the part of the process. You can have the greatest idea ever. You can have the greatest business proposal ever and take it to people that want to fund, that you're looking for investment or sponsorships. And they might say, man, that's absolutely hideous and that's crazy. Get it out of my face. You don't stop rocking. You keep moving. And that's what it's all about. But see, the thing about rejection is teaches you how to be patient and learning and understanding. I remember when I was in the music industry, there used to be this book called Everything You Need to Know About the Music Industry. And we were always told to read this book so we wouldn't make mistakes in the music industry. But what I've learned is the only way to learn is to get burned, is to get done wrong and to make mistakes. The only way you find yourself is to get lost. I remember homegirl Keita used to say when she first moved to Atlanta, she would just drive around and get lost. Therefore, she would know her way around the city so she would never get lost again. And it made perfect and clear sense to me. But I'm here to tell you right now that rejection is a lonely space, but rejection is a space that you must embrace. Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't entertain yourself with people with small minds that ain't talking about absolutely nothing. I tell people all the time, people detox the body, but never detox the mind. Now you got to take a social detox. You got to let the club go. You got to let the bars go. You don't have to travel across the globe. You don't have to brag about stamping passports. If you are a person that's here to solve problems and you understand your gifts and talents, you must make good history every day, because guess what? All the partying, all the traveling, all the things that social media has people wired to think to do that's living a great life. Nobody's going to remember that when you're long gone. But what they will remember is how you came up with a cure for a particular disease that they said was impossible. How you showed people how to eat a proper diet so that when they got older, they didn't deal with hypertension, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes. You know, the things that you've taught, curriculums, learning advices. These are the things that impact people's lives forever. So at the end of the day, embrace it. Because most of the people you see out here that you think is popping, and the biggest mistake is you can make is to look at somebody else's life and their successes and where they going and try to compare your life to theirs and deem yourself a failure or that you ain't getting nowhere in life. I used to once say, I don't think people past the age of 55 should get married, but hey, there's people still getting married at 60 and 65 and they the happiest they ever been. For all 10 years it's gonna last. Let me stop that. Sometimes I could be a little bit of an asshole. And you know what? Sometimes when you study and learn, have information, when you stay in books, when you constantly improve your mind, you may become an asshole, because 9 out of 10 people you meet are going to be complete idiots. They don't know anything except what they were taught and raised on, or people hide behind certain things to make them feel validated. But the people who run and dominate the world, they've studied this world. They've studied you. Instead of just saying or giving something away and just saying it's a causation of God or the universe, they figured out how it works. Because these ain't small minds. These ain't people that sit up and watch bullshit on TV, reality TV. These ain't people that sit up and listen to the worst or most horrendous music. These are people who study night and day, burn midnight oil. And including me, I am so excited on my journey to go back to school. I am elated because I have not been excited about education in a long time or learning. But I'm going back for something that I'm passionate about and I'm going to be tenacious about. And I'm here to tell you, brothers, I'm coming. I got us. Because I'm working with something a little bit different than most people who call themselves clinical therapists. I'm working with something a little bit different. I got that code and I got the ISIS papers in my DNA. And I'm working with that, which gives me extra supplements to help us out and to give us a voice, to give us a place to speak our pains, our angers, and our traumas. And you will not be told that you're angry. You'll not be told that you're crazy. And there ain't going to be nobody to come to the defense on what you say, because what you say is real. And I always tell people, ask any black man. And people always want to talk about, have you done the research? The research and the data is in every black man walking that you see today, whether he's aware of his trauma or not, whether he's aware of his oppression or not, is walking in each and every last one of us. So, and this is a universal message. This ain't just for men. This is for anybody that understands the importance of rejection. And even, you know what, the most important thing, let me say this, because our community, like black people, I don't know what it is about us. We want love so bad. We want marriage so bad. And I think the people who kind of missed and dropped the ball in their early, like in their 20s and 30s, you know, people, you know, trying to figure this thing out after you dealt with so many fucked up people. Now all of a sudden, you know, you're trying to find it in the thrift store. And I'm like, why is that such a purpose for you to have in your life? What is your purpose in life? What is your purpose in life to do? And that's the number one conversation. What kind of conversations are we having? What are we talking about? Are we talking about being able to survive in the close and near future that is being pioneered by AI? Are we having these type of conversations? Are we getting our kids lined up to get the proper education to be able to survive in the future when we are long gone? Do we understand about emergency preparedness? Do we understand about how some people are going living off the grid, which is that's your flow, that's you? These are the conversations that we need to be having moving forward, and where we're going to play our part at in the world, economically, financially, spiritually. We have to have high level conversations. And I tell people all the time, if you fall in love with your purpose, you're going to find the person that's going to fall in love with you. Enough of this conversations 24/7. I see it all the time. And that's low frequency to me. Is this relationship shit? Finding somebody love and all these dating apps is not used for you to get married, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. The club is not going to improve you as an individual. Every now and then, it doesn't matter. You go out and wind yourself and feel better, but every day, 4 to 5 days a week, that's not it. You're not going to ever self-improve as an individual. That is baby behavior. Only babies like to play all the time and never take anything serious. And that's based on the code. But at some point, as an individual, and also as a collective, as a community, we have to change the algorithm of the way that we think, the words that we speak. There's an old saying, words create worlds. When I open my mouth, it's got to be about something real. I can't open my mouth and talk about bullshit. Every now and then we do have those type of conversations where I call up my sahobs and we might laugh, we might joke, but at the end of the day, any brother or anybody calling my phone, you best believe it's a person of high value. We have a high level conversations. How can you help me with this? How can I prove on that? Do you have information that can lead me closer to my goal? But if you calling me to talk about sports all the damn time, or in the club, or about some nigga dumb shit, or what happened the other day at the party, they got the shooting and fighting, I don't want to hear it. I don't care for it. Don't care about it. Because there's people out here who's serious. We doing some unblack type of shit. You heard what I said. Unblack type of stuff. You have to be bigger than this community that we're raised on in our cultural conditioning, people. But the only people that people don't understand are the ones that's going to be rejected because they speak a language that is foreign to them, that yet is also intimidating to them. And if you want to be a person that understands the higher plane of life, all you got to do is pick up a book. All you got to do is begin to self-improve with your better diet, meditate, exercise, get on a treadmill, burn weight. Don't just sit around the house all day and do nothing, or just work your job and do the same routine. And then you wondering why you're dealing with a midlife crisis and you depressed because you don't have a reason for existence. Find your purpose for existence. The existence as a human to come here is not to just always want to rampantly every day find the most minute things that will never add up to a hill of beans, nor will it work for you to leave a great legacy in this life when you are gone. And that's something that I want all of us to concentrate and focus on. You're never too old and it ain't never too late. My father went back to school after he retired and got his degree. And now I'm following his suit. And I'm happy and I'm proud to do it. Yeah, Nichelle, I heard what you said, but you know what? I probably shouldn't have said it, but I said it. So there it is. And I'm going to do that because I'm so motivated and I'm so driven to help Black men and the youth. I don't care about nothing else. I don't care about nothing else but that, because I'm tired of losing our brothers to suicide. I'm tired of losing our young Black men to the jail system, the courts. I'm tired of these babies being so misguided because, let's just keep it a buck, parents are damn near obsolete. They're absent. It's just like that song Tony Tate made years ago, Babies Having Babies. I didn't understand that song then, but I understand it now. You got 55, 40 something plus, 30 something plus year old parents living their second childhood. So where the hell do the kids draw the wisdom from? We got major serious problems, people. And to be talking around the dumbest shit in our community, the silliest things, the stuff that we prioritize don't add up to a hill of beans. Religion ain't got nothing to do with this. Government ain't got nothing to do with this. Politics, none of this. Status, economic. It has everything to do with the wealth of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and raising these babies from the root and self-improving as adults to change the course of our community. Black culture is the worst thing I've ever seen. And I know a lot of people say, well, Black culture, most of you, if I ask you what Black culture was, you could not even define it. You can't put a face on it. You can't even materialize it. And I would ask the same question that Neely Fuller Jr. used to always ask when he did travel and do lectures. What can the world learn from Black people? And that answer is absolutely nothing, because we don't know how to solve problems without creating problems. Now, I don't mean to get on such a negative side of it, but sometimes we just got to be honest and truthful with ourselves about who we are. And when we can be honest about who we are, we can move forward as a people and get to the plateau and levels that we need to be and actually start solving some problems around here. Take ego out the way. Take the genetic boasting, bragging out the way. Take the degrees out the way. All your education and high-mindedness, take it all out. And let's get serious about the context of things that we need to do. And it's just that simple. It's just that simple. Listen, I'm rooting for you. I'm cheering for you. I want to see your family stay together. I want to see people be at peace. I want kids to be healthy and happy in a thriving environment. And I want us to value and love one another. Now, we may not always get along and we may not always understand each other, and we don't have to still solve problems collectively as a community and as a people. I want to see us to get on a level to where the world is like, you know what, what's going on with Black people across the globe? Where is this behavior? Where is this newfound behavior coming from? Look at that, they're thinking now. They ain't always shaking ass and twerking and dancing. They ain't always acting silly, stupid, or pitiful. And they ain't always out here trying to bust up and kill one another. Something is going on with this community. Let's shock the world, and we can do it. Now, I'm not here to save the world. I know everybody ain't going to change. But all it takes is just a few dedicated men and women who mean better for our people in positions of power to understand what it takes to solve the problem. Like Malcolm X said, one of the greatest speeches I ever heard was the ballad and the bullet. He said, listen, this problem ain't about Muslims being a Muslim. This ain't about being a Christian. This ain't about being anything else. This is about a collective problem that people of color who are hued must come together and solve. And coming together doesn't always require us to stand shoulder to shoulder with picket signs talking about I am a man. All you have to do is counter it with a codification. And love starts in the home and it goes abroad. Stop tripping about being rejected and embrace it. It's a great thing, because at the end of the day, people will eventually come back to see the greatness. I know lately a lot of people have been paying attention to Kyrie Irving with the basketball finals. Everything that he took, he took a lot of heat for the Hebrew comments. He took a lot of heat for not taking the vaccination. He was a stone that the builder refused. And now Kyrie's the head cornerstone of the Dallas Mavericks being successful like they are in the finals. And I ain't got no problem. I would love to see the brothers win the final, but I ain't trying to wear no Luka jersey because I made that deal with Slack the other night on the Eye Test podcast the other night. And y'all know we're not gonna get on this Luka thing, man. Y'all understand what it is. But listen, man. Listen, that's the first time I said man. You know, I'm conscious of that, y'all. I've been trying not to say man. I'm conscious of it because that irks me sometimes when I be listening. I go back and listen to the podcast. I'll be like, man. So I think I did good. I think that's the first time I said it. But anyway, if you have anything you have to say, leave it down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, tell a problem solver to come on in. And listen, this is the place where we're bringing sexy back to the everyday hardworking men and women who impact your life within close proximity. We want to rise above this madness, which is Black culture. And listen, I need a team. I need management. I need all these things, people. I really do. And if y'all can help me out, that will be a great thing on your behalf. Dang, did I go say my thing already? Anyway, if I haven't, this is the place we bring it sexy back to the everyday hardworking man and women who impact your life within close proximity. We want to rise above this madness, which is called Black culture. And the biggest mistake that you can make is to think that you have time. Until next time, I thank you all for sitting in. Hey, let's win.
Equality versus equity. Equality means every child gets a pair of shoes. Equity means every child gets a pair of shoes that fit. That means every school district has to meet every student's individual needs.
I'm Jerry O'Green with the Black Student Advocate. We advocate for Black employees and Black students within the K-12 school districts. We hold school districts accountable to make sure that Black students and employees are in a fair and equitable workplace.